All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go through the Overwatch retail patch notes. Also, just gonna probably be playing out on YouTube, so you guys are gonna probably include say hi. You guys can say hi, YouTube. So we're gonna go ahead and go through it and discuss some of the new patch notes, what they released, and I'll kind of get my thoughts. I'm kind of going blind right now with this because I have no idea what the living hell is gonna be included in it. So I am very much, very much intrigued right now to find out exactly what to expect. So why don't we go ahead and get right into it? We can have some fun and, see what we got right here. So let's go ahead and see what they got for the update, have some fun, and we can see what it is. And then after that, we can get right into have some fun. So let's do it. So let's see what we got right now for the patch notes. Again, I'm going in blind with this. I have no idea what to expect. So let's see. Overwatch 2 retail patch notes on March 7th. So that was 2 days ago. They mentioned a new collaboration, Overwatch 2, with actually One Punch Man. One Punch is all you need in this limited time. Overwatch 2 One Punch Man, with the One Punch Man collaboration. Complete challenges through April 6th and earn free theme rewards, including the legendary Mummin Rider Soldier 76 skin. Complete your hero collection with additional legendary bundles, features Saitama for Doomfist, Terrible Tornado for Kiriko, and Genos for Genji from the in-game shop. I'm not big anime kind of guy, or I never really watched a lot of One Punch Man, so I don't know much about it, but these are probably characters, I guess, pretty much from the series. So if any of you guys are big fans of the franchise itself, there you guys go. You get some cool little cool skins for that, obviously. So get in there, go get the skins right there, and definitely for sure, right there. They're all heroes. Awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, guys, definitely. Make sure that if you guys want to get a hand of this, if you guys really love these characters, you guys should go get them for your skins right there. If you guys love them, I might try to get them for myself because I think I've seen a few of them. They look pretty cool. They look pretty neat, not gonna lie. Let's see. They also mentioned some updates for the Overwatch League 2023. New Overwatch League team skins as well, apparently. So there's some new skins now in game you can get, so you can celebrate, of course, your favorite teams, including the Seoul Infernal and the Vegas Internal, by equipping their team skins for your favorite heroes. So, hey, nice right there. Some pretty cool right there, pretty much. Saitama is the main protagonist who, like his name suggests, wins most fights with one punch. Neat. That's pretty cool. I like that. Pretty neat indeed. Let's see. Team bundles as well, too. It's, of course, if you want to go get some team bundles for the Overwatch League or team as well, they're all sale. Trios of hero skins with all the land in the Overwatch League shop throughout the season, available for all teams. These bundles will include team-branded weapon charms as well. So if you guys are a big Overwatch League fan and you want to go celebrate your favorite teams, go right to it. This is your chance right now to get some skins right there, including some bundles of it. So definitely go do so. All right, here we go. General updates. Let's see what they got right now. General updates. Adjusted distance attenuation on enemy footsteps. Now, I think they did say that they didn't include this in the Season 3 patch notes, so this has already since been added. So we've kind of already getting this implemented, but they just kind of forgot to, or actually they were planning to do so, but they missed the change for Season 3, so now they're finally adding it. So they say they missed a change in our Season 3 patch notes about some adjustments made to the distance in which you can hear enemy footsteps. We continue to refine this change and have found a nice middle ground between where it was in Season 2 and where it was prior in today's patch. So they're adjusting some related sounds for the enemy footsteps, so you can have a little. So it makes it more adjusted now to kind of hear the footsteps in some ways, rightfully so, with enemies. So that's pretty cool. Kind of better adjust everything. Genos is a cyborg who is sort of kind of Saitama's apprentice. That's cool. Nice. Challenges. Some weekly challenges right now. Remove to the victors, win 15 games in unranked or competitive. Add in a new challenge, casual dedication. Win 15 games in any unranked mode. Okay. Add a new challenge, competitive advantage. Win 10 games in any competitive mode. Total numbers of challenges need to earn all Overwatch points. It's still 11. Okay. They remove the coin line challenge, which is win 5 games in arcade. They add a new challenge, change of pace. Win 5 games in Mystery Heroes, free for all deathmatch, or any arcade mode. And change the role mastery to win 5 games at each as 2 different roles in quick play or competitive. Okay, so changes up to that. They also mentioned the daily challenges for the support weapon mastery and the ability mastery. It has been reduced from, first for the weapon mastery, from 12,500 to 10,000, and the support one, ability one, to 10,000 to from 10,000 to 8,000. So a little reduction to that to kind of get those challenges done for That pretty much, I do like that a little, I guess. Kind of reduces the challenge a little bit more to make it a little more easy to complete them. Terrible Tornado is a hero who is very powerful with telekinesis. Challenges, progress during end of round. Challenges the player's progress on during the match will be shown with a visual representation of remaining progress needed. So, okay, so that means any challenges the players made already, the progress during the match, will now just be shown visually of what remaining progress is needed to get it done. I do like that. I like that. That's pretty good. I do like that very much. That helps out very well. I think that's pretty good. Scoreboard, the end of match scoreboard update. So they update the scoreboard now. We are taking a snapshot of each player's final sets during the match and persisting it on the tab scoreboard during post-match. Previously, a player's stats and name would disappear as soon as they left the match. So as we all know, so every time when a person leaves the match, their stats just disappear and their name along with it. So now, they just take a snapshot of it. So for each player, for their final stats during the match, and it will keep persisting on the tab scoreboard during post-match as well. So that at least stays on board. That could be a good thing. So like, if so that you can keep track about like previously, if there's something different compared to other players you encounter with, or maybe if there's anything suspicious going on during the match of certain players, something like that. I think like, if there's someone cheating or something like that, I could see something like that, or just keep track of see what everyone's scoreboard is. So I kind of like that. I do find that very useful for that situation. I think that could be a pretty good idea to kind of give loose something to keep it, just keep it like adjusted there as a whole. Let's see. Matchmaking. We fixed a bug causing large parties to wait longer in queue than intended. The matchmaker will now prioritize putting parties together which have a similar delta between the highest and lowest rated player. Okay, so there was a bug before that made large parties wait longer in queues than intended, and of course, okay, well, and then the matchmaker will now prioritize putting parties together which have a similar delta between that. Actually, I'm kind of happy by that, because even when I was with like one person in my party, we were like taking so long in certain modes. I remember trying to like play with one of my viewers when we were trying to get into role queue, and we were taking so long to get into a match order. So I find that very useful now. That's pretty good. I'm actually happy by that. So pretty good. I'm actually happy about that. Thank God. I was hoping that we would finally get some a little bit to that. And then the matchmaker will now prioritize putting parties together, which will have a similar delta between the highest and lowest rated player. That could also be good too, determining for what rated player they are. They also made improvements that should help reduce unranked queue times and increase competitive match quality. That is great. So you don't have to wait too long on ranked match. Quality with the match a little bit more when loading with certain people and stuff like that. So that is pretty good. I like that. Some other changes. I don't play a lot of competitive as much, but this is just for anyone who needs to know about this as well. Competitive Mystery Heroes is now being added to comp now. So now we're getting Mystery Heroes now available for comp. So all of you Mystery Heroes fans, you can now play that. The first season of it begins on March 14th. So guys, get that on your calendar if you want to. It's the 9th. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So like 5 days. Yeah. So you got like 5 days left until it starts. So get ready for that indeed. Competitive screen layout updates. We have added buttons to the competitive play menu that will allow players to easily access their tier legend leaderboard and competitive progress screens. Okay, nice. A little UI layout change for the screen, so you guys can for the competitive screen, so you guys can see everything and know the leaderboards, tiers, everyone else's competitive progress. That's pretty good. And now the top 5 leaderboard updates been updated as well. Players in the top 5 will now see an animated update of their current position on the leaderboard after each match. I like that. I do like that very much indeed. That is pretty nice. Pretty nice indeed. I do like that. I'm actually kind of proud by that they're actually doing something like that, giving some little cool updates for the top 500, like an animated design. I actually like that. I wonder how unique. Definitely want to see how that kind of goes. Progressing through that. So I'm looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that to see how that plays out very much. All right, here we go. You guys ready for the hero updates? Here we go. Hero updates. Let's see what they got. I think I heard a few from one of our viewers talk about it, but let's go through it together and kind of get through, and I'll get my thoughts on it. So here we go. Hero updates. Nice. Nice, dude. Okay, so let's see. So Orisa, so they are doing something right here that I've already heard from one of our viewers talk about this. So developer comment: Terra Surge is a channeled ultimate which cannot be interrupted by most abilities, as it gains the same effects as Fortify. While this makes sense for stuns, Sombra's hack interrupt shouldn't be negated and now correctly cancels Terra Surge. So now Terra Surge, Orisa's ultimate, can now be canceled by Sombra's hack. I'm actually kind of glad about that a little more, actually, because obviously that could be an issue when that happens. So having the ability to cancel that could incite very much Orisa to be very careful when timing that with Sombra around, and also make sure to get that done as quick as possible, or else it gets wiped out completely and it's wasted. So this makes Orisa players got to be very careful when using their ult, because if Sombra comes out of nowhere and hacks the Terra Surge, it's gone for a bit right there. So be careful, Orisa players. Be very careful with that. So that is something you got to be watchful for. I think that's not bad, though. I'm kind of doing that because I know it could be kind of very tedious to deal with that Terra Surge sometimes. And obviously, having no way to stop it in some ways, unless you like shield yourself, is one thing. But this could be another way to kind of help prevent that as well. Okay, Ramatra. So he's getting summoned to his Annihilation. The developers comment that players found that shifting on a Nemesis form before activating the Annihilation ultimate would fully reset Nemesis form's bonus armor. To smooth out the gameplay, it now resets the armor health automatically as part of the ultimate activation. Ah, okay, so now if you use Annihilation while in Nemesis form, it will reset and refresh that bonus armor. So if you like lose that bonus armor when already using Nemesis form, and then go into Annihilation while in it, you'll just get it reset back. I can see that kind of help out a little bit, so that you don't just go dying very quickly, and you can use that very much when you're going in on people right there. I still encourage people to like wait for the right time first to use Annihilation, because like obviously you need people to be around to kind of get the best out of it. But I can see some good use out of that pretty much, so I can see that. I definitely find that pretty good. Roadhog, he's getting some pretty changes to his chain hook, which I'm actually quite interested by this one right here. Developer comment states the chain hook cooldown beginning when the ability started instead of at the end caused some confusion when discussing the cooldown, since once you can see the timer, it appeared a second shorter, which is like 7 seconds. The cooldown since once you can see the timer, it appeared and then the actual maximum cooldown. Sorry, my eyes kind of mixed up better. So typically it would start the cooldown on it rather than like at cooldown beginning. It would start the cooldown immediately after use instead of just at the end of the hook, and making it like just 7 seconds. Then the actual maximum cooldown, which is like 8 seconds. And after fixing that, now we're reducing the cooldown overall by additional second to increase the frequency of Roadhog's team utility. Now that being pulled in by chain hook is less deadly. So now the cooldown of chain hook starts when the ability ends, instead of just at the start. So that means once you already use it, it starts doing its job first, and then once it finishes and you pull someone or you use it up at the end of its done animation, it immediately goes into cooldown. And instead of now 8 seconds or 7 seconds, it's now 6 seconds. So they definitely gave it a little bit of a, I think you could say kind of like a slight nerf and buff, I would say. So now this makes it where the cooldown has to take a little bit of a while to do it, but then they made kind of a buff to kind of short it down so you can still get it back. I mean, it's fine by me a little bit with this stuff because it's not as overpowered as it once was, where you can like one-hit people with it. So I don't find this any issue whatsoever. I think this is going to be a pretty good, solid change right there. I think you guys can agree with on that, unless you guys have any ideas about what you guys think about this so far. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any issues with it, by my knowledge at least. I think this is going to be just fine so far by the looks of it. Wrecking Ball. So Wrecking Ball has got some pretty interesting changes right here that I'm pretty intrigued by. The developers comment that there is now a hero control option for Wrecking Ball to separate a separate aim sensitivity while transforming to a ball, as players may want to aim his weapon in first person and move the camera in third person significantly differently. In addition, a visual indicator for Grappling Claw has been added to indicate its maximum duration before automatically detaching. So now there's an indication for that. So they added a specific hero option to help to make it relative for the aim sensitivity while rolling. And then the same thing also with apparently the gyro sensitivity if you're on Nintendo Switch, apparently. And then finally, the grappling claw now has a timeout indicator for it so that you locate above the ability icon so you know like when it indicates when you reach its full potential right there, of course, when using the cook. And then they apparently reduced the minefield. They increased the minefield time arming from 1 second to 1.25. So it's a little slight nerf to that reason right there. So it arms a little slightly more. So I think they kind of made a little bit of a nerf for the minefield there for the time arming, but they also made it easier for the grappling claw, which I think is kind of great they did that because I always have trouble kind of like determining when I reach the full potential. So now this, it kind of helps you out, give you better visual to know when it reaches maximum duration to its full extent when using the claw. I think a lot of you guys might agree with that. Might be pretty good. I think that might be very nice. Okay, Zarya, a precious change decreased both barrier duration and increased the cooldown at the same time, lowering Zarya's effectiveness more than anticipated. This is a partial reversion to help level it out. The shard cooldown for particle barrier and projected barrier are now been reduced from 11 to 10 seconds. So kind of a nerf to the cooldowns of both of them being shared together when using each of the abilities. So particle barrier is obviously your self barrier, and then the projected barrier is the one you project on anyone else. So now they've been reduced to 10 seconds. So that means shared together. So that means it's going to be a little more of a short cooldown, very much. Well, actually, it was short cooldown, though. That's kind of a buff, actually. Sorry, I don't mean the nerf. That's a nice little buff right there, so you guys can get a little bit more done, and then use it to be able to effectively use that on your teammates. And I kind of do agree with that because I know Zarya has been obviously I know she's been getting some rightfully good nerfs for sure, but I think she's not at their same, and since she's not at her same stake as she was back in Overwatch 1, I mean I don't think she's at the same like level as many of the other tanks. So obviously the decreasement of like made her a little bit there. So now they reversed that idea where they just simply just reduced the cooldown for using it now. So it should be a little more easy to kind of have a little balance of the duration being used and then the cooldown of it being used, obviously. Back up so you can then use it again. So I can see some pretty good use to that pretty much. Ash, we want to enable Ash and Bob to easily assist one another more. Bob now prioritizes targets damaged by Ash's rifle, which may allow for more flexible ultimate placement. So Bob now prefers to shoot at enemy targets that Ash damages with a rifle. I like this, honestly. Like, this helps not only encourage the idea to place Bob in good positions, but it actually could be good for you with Ash because if you shoot someone, they'll prioritize them. So Bob will prioritize someone. So like, let's just say if you see someone that's weak and you summon Bob and you shoot someone that's weak and he's in position to shoot him, that means Bob can easily weaken him out pretty well or keep them back. I can see that pretty well with tanks and stuff like that. That could be really good because Bob is already like the equivalent of another tank you basically added to your team. So imagine that. That is actually a pretty good idea for me. I'm not gonna lie. I actually really like this. So Bob will now prioritize the focus of what Ash is trying to target with her rifle when she's damaging them. So that could be a good encouragement there. I like that. I want to see how that plays out. I might want to test that out when that update does flow around because I don't know when this update comes out. I don't know when this patch notes roll unless it's already rolled in, but it might be. We'll see. Bob, do something. Yep, pretty much right there. Okay, Hanzo. Hanzo has a high burst damage potential with Storm Bow and Storm Arrows and strong utility with Sonic Arrow, but still underperforms compared to other heroes in the same role. This change increases his survivability without directly improving his strength. So what they did was decrease the cooldown down for the lunge ability from 5 to 4 seconds. So just a 1 second buff. I mean, it's a 1 second down buff right there. So it's now 4 seconds now to give Hanzo be able to kind of lunge a bit more. I can see a little more, I guess, to help that a little bit. So he's still a little more effective there because obviously I wouldn't buff anything else around some of the areas because obviously if they did, Hanzo could be a little bit too strong for a DPS kind of character a lot right there because he's already effective as much as it is if you get a really good player who knows how to use him. Trust me, I've seen some pretty good players out there and I do pretty well with Hanzo sometimes. But nice to lunge, a little more easy to get out to use, so you can then dodge a little more easily. I can see how that plays out. I want to see how the lunge goes with that. May gets something involving her Blizzard, her ultimate. May's Blizzard ultimate cast time sometimes led to situations where the animation appeared to have been completed, but there was still additional time that it could get interrupted. This change will help mitigate that feeling without significantly reducing counterplay. Blizzard ultimate cast time has now been reduced from 0.5 to 0.4 seconds. So it's been reduced. I guess is that like a? I guess that's like a Okay, so that's the cast time. So I think it's like kind of like a little bit of a nerf. I guess a little bit right there. I guess you can say a little bit of kind of a nerf right there to it. So it's a little more. It doesn't last that super long for the cast time to be used on that. So May kind of got a little bit of a nerf. I think that's what it is. At least I think I've got that right. But slight nerf to our girl May right there. May's your Overwatch waifu. Yeah. I honestly for me it's like probably like Mercy or maybe Kiriko now, but or Tracer, but yeah, May's pretty good too. Let's see. Okay, Pharah. Okay, Pharah got a buff right here. Look at this one right here. In addition to rapidly launching her upwards, Jump Jet uses always more Pharah look forward, and a small amount of which made the ability to feel less responsive when trying to move to the side or backwards. This change now enables a small amount of horizontal momentum in any direction. So Jump Jet movement is now influenced by directional inputs? So that's kind of a buff right there. So now the movement of where you go in certain directions will determine how the movement is influenced. So that means if you go like, I guess, right more, then the jump jet's gonna pretty much just go like this, I think. Like it's gonna go really far to the east more. So it will focus on that a lot to help you escape more. So depending on the direction you push yourself to, whether you go forwards, backwards, left, right, when you activate it, that will really determine the movement and influence right there. So I guess that could be a pretty good buff right there for I might make movement pretty crazy and easily to kind of get around places more easily and kind of, you know. Oh, okay. So Sojourn is now getting a big nerf right. This is a nerf finally. And honestly, Sojourn definitely needs that right there because I can agree how crazy she can be right here. Due to the angle of Sojourn's torso in her default animation stance, her torso hit volume was more difficult to hit compared to similarly sized heroes. Torso hit volume width increased by 20%. Honestly, thank God for that, honestly, because she was hard to hit sometimes. Like, she had that very, like, her width, like, torso hit volume right there, it was small to hit right there. Like, you could shoot it at and you wouldn't even hit any damage. So now it should make it a little more easily to kind of get down to the hit right there and just smack right there and hopefully take her out right there. So I'm pretty grateful they're actually doing that. Thank the Lord, honestly, that they are adding this right there that gives her like a nerf right there pretty much. So thank God for that. Thank God. I was so concerned for the fact that we were going to have to deal with that shit right there. And Baptiste now. He's getting something right here. Baptiste is capable of potent damage and healing output, but often slightly underperforms across many skill levels. This change to the Immortality's field minimum health threshold will strengthen his utility and enable him to more reliably assist his allies after its effect ends. Okay, so now that means Immortality field minimum threshold has been increased from 10 to 25%. So, okay, so instead of just being at 10% when you're usually reach that part, it's now 25%. So that's kind of a buff pretty much to the Immortality field. So the Immortality field can last you up to 25% of your health left once you go to that point. So once you get 25% instead of 10, that's where we'll hold it off while the Immortality field remains. And then if you get out of it or it goes away or gets destroyed, if you get shot during that time, you lose that health completely and can die. So that's kind of pretty much a buff right there to keep it surviving. I do like that. I do like that very much. I think that's going to be a really good helpful way to kind of give encouragement to Baptiste players to be able to kind of strengthen utility a bit more to help reliably assist allies as much as can while the effect before it ends or so. So that's kind of a really good buff I get for Baptiste. I think I like that very much. I do like that very much indeed. And then there's a couple other bug fixes right here in patches, which I'm not going to go through right now, but there's a lot obviously right here that for anyone who wants to go through all this yourself, you guys can do that. I might even post that right now in the chat right now. I might put that obviously in the description of the YouTube video, of course, as always, so people can go review that for themselves right there. But I think that's pretty good. I think this is gonna be a pretty good patch note so far. So I think this is pretty good indeed. So good job on them and right there so far. I mean, we'll have to see where it effectively goes through, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. So we'll see what happens. Looking forward to see where this patch kind of kicks off for sure. So look forward to that indeed.